Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Ken Sanin Bombi, aka the boy Divine, coming to you with the first episode of the top 3 pairs segment from Divine Traders. Make sure you hit that like button, bell icon, subscribe. More after the intro. Alright guys, so before we start with on any other currencies, we need to be on DXY, which is a measurement of the US dollar currency, it's dollar index. So I'm starting on the weekly chart so that I can identify the larger structures because we're going to be treating patterns within patterns. So starting on the weekly, I've identified the highest high, highest low. Then we're going to go to the daily. From the daily, we identify the most recent structures. Okay, so right now we're anticipating this market to actually get to this area over here, right? So this is where patterns start to come in. Now we see the whole thing as it is. So I can just connect these two lows like that and remove this low like that. So we can see that the areas, but if we zoom in, we can see that this market is actually forming a chart pattern right here, right? So because it's forming a chart pattern right there, we're going to have our trend line connecting from that high, connecting this, and then we see that, oh, it's actually making sense because now we have a 1, 2, 3, there's our third touch, and there's a chart pattern forming at that third touch. So now we have an idea of why it's potentially not going to reach this high over here, right? So we just go out like that. Then we go to the 4-hour chart. This is just standard procedures, guys, standard procedures. Now we're looking at this chart pattern. Now we're looking at the chart pattern on its own. We go from here, connecting, okay. I was expecting it to continue going, but then it didn't give us a signal to enter for, oh, it actually did give us a signal to enter for sell here. We entered the sell here. It broke out, and then it came back into the pattern. We took a break even, no profit, no loss. No profit, no loss, no problem. So for the sake of neatness, right? For the sake of neatness, I actually just reduced this ray line to a bit over here, just so that I can focus on the most important bit of price action. So I just highlight, and we can see the pattern. It's an ascending channel, right? It's an ascending channel, which means we're expecting it to break with 1, 2 touches, with 2 touches. So at this point in time, we can see we actually have a double top and a double top within another double top. So basically it's a triple top with 1, 2, 3 touches, with 3 tops, basically 3 tops. And here we're forming a double top within a triple top. So many tops. But this is the area where I would be looking for this to either start selling, right? I'd expect it to basically do something like this because it's coming up correctively to come to this area, then reject, respecting the 90% rule here, right? Or this is for this week, or come all the way up here to give us a third touch before it goes for the overall sell. And this is where it's going to catch a lot of people on the wrong side of the market because people are going to think it broke out, let me buy. They're going to buy here, they're going to buy the breakout, some are going to buy the retest, and then it's going to just come back down and hit these stop losses, blowing some accounts. Right, so basically that's what we're looking for. Now waiting for the third touch of the trend line over here for the market to come down here. So overall, dollar index to us is a sell. Right, if we can go down to the 1 hour, that's where we'll see, we'll have a clearer picture, or where we'll be looking to enter our executions. We can clearly see that this market is coming up with corrective structure, right, which means we're expecting it to potentially tap here and drop to the downside, right? So we're expecting an overall sell this week on dollar index, which means we're going to be expecting a couple of buys on Euro USD, GBP USD, sells on USD CAD and USD Japan, potentially. Right, so now to the first pair. We're on Euro USD. I've identified Euro USD being the best pair for this week because of the market structure. Alright, so weekly chart, identify these key zones. Right, the key zones, the most recent ones, right? Okay, you see nothing really much as well. So we go to the daily. Alright, we go into the daily. We go, okay, here's the lowest area, and here's the highest of the daily chart. Alright, and here's the most recent, and here is the alright. So guys, for me, these zones are just means of me understanding the market. Most of them I delete them, like this one. It's not relevant anymore. It's too far away, or the relevancy is and this one. So basically, now the most important bit of price action is these two. That's basically the high and the low. Though that's the most important bit of you know, and as per predicted, you can see that the market's actually forming corrective reversal pattern, right? Hence, I connected the trend line over there, right? So that area, now we have a reason or a clear indication that the market has the potential to actually not reach this area over here. So we just delete it, and now we have this pattern over here. All right, now I have this pattern over here. I don't want to draw that trend line in. I know it has the potential to reverse the trend line, but the market will tell us or do something of this nature update if it's going to reverse here or if it's just going to continue breaking. So this is where I would be looking to for the overall direction to change, unless the market states otherwise. So we're on the daily. Now we go to the 4-hour to take a look at the most important bit of price action, right? You can see reversal pattern. You can see the reversal pattern forming the descending wedge, right? And again, for the sake of neatness, I reduce this ray. I reduce the trend line just for the sake of neatness, because now the most important bit of price action is this one, right? So now we here 1 2, we have a 1 2 touch, 1 2. We see that the potential, it actually has the potential to reach this low for a double bottom, reach that low for a double bottom, and then we actually continue to the upside, and chances are that's where I would be exiting this week, looking for further upside, potentially weeks to come, for potentially more upside for weeks to come. So if we go to the 1-hour chart right now, we'll also be seeing the market's actually, this is what it did on Friday. It did on Friday. I was expecting this buy last week though, around somewhere around here, because I did anticipate this bullish movement. I just wasn't able to capitalize on it because there weren't any proper entries, right? So we can see that the market actually impulsed down, now is forming a correction. So it has the potential to actually come down to test this area, then for the double bottom, overall double bottom structure, and head up to this high potentially. This is only just potential, or it could just break this overall market structure and the pattern fails. But the highest probability setup would be a buy at this area. That would be the highest probability setup. We could be wrong and it starts to sell, but that would be a whole different scenario and something we would not want to be involved in because it's not the highest probability, right? So Euro USD expecting a buy. Now going on to USD Japan. I've been looking at USD Japan for a very long time now. Looking at USD Japan for quite some time now. Let's go to the weekly, 1 week. Alright, so USD Japan is basically the same scenario. Well, similar scenarios actually. Not exactly the same, but similar. I'll highlight that. Okay, we just try and get an overall picture of what this market is actually doing, right? We're not actually trying to like look at the whole market structure. We're just taking ideas from as a way the market's going to go next. So basically the most relevant is still these two. These are just like points of reference, just in case the market breaks this area, then we know, okay, it's going to this high or to the next high over there. It's just points of reference in case, this setup fails. Right, so now we can go to the 1 day. Okay, so the most important price action is now this. We see that the market actually tested this high over here, right? And how did it test that? We can also highlight this one. This is also a very nice high because on the daily highs, the weekly high and the daily high are very, very strong and important to us. So what we do is we can see that the market actually is forming some sort of a double top type pattern, right? With a clean 1 2 3 touch here. So overall, we're expecting this market to drop until it gets down to this area over here, right? Okay, cool. So we go down to the 4-hour chart. Go down to the 4-hour chart. We can see that the overall pattern. So we just need to keep those trend lines in mind. The relevance of this is gone now. I wouldn't say that's very relevant anymore, but we can see the overall pattern that we're heading down here. That's what we should keep in mind. At this high, the market had formed a clean pattern over here, right? At this high, the market had formed a clean pattern. of which people capitalized on, starting from entries up here as it was going down up until it reached this low over here. Why are we not looking for a buy at this low? Because we know the overall pattern. We have the overall pattern and we're expecting the market overall to come all the way down there, right? So with that being said, now we see the structure. Okay, we see the structure. It's clean. Cool. Now we actually see that, okay, the market at this low, this is only the minimum, but we're expecting lower drops. So what are we expecting? Some sort of a pattern, right? So if we go down to the 4-hour, we can see this. Go down to the 1-hour chart. To the 1-hour chart, we can see we have this low over here, and we also had this pattern, this larger pattern over here, a clean 1 2 3 touch pattern, right? And this is the high where we're expecting potential selling opportunities at this high or near this high. You know, chances are could be most likely going to be above this high, then we're going to be looking for selling opportunities, you know, forming some sort of a pattern of this nature. Potentially, it's only a potential, guys, so bear with me. A pattern of this nature, potentially, right? Then we'll capitalize on it. It's coming all the way down till it gets to this area, to that low over there, right? So that's USD Japan. So USD Japan overall this week, we're expecting an overall sell. Maybe short-term buys on Monday, so that it can complete this pattern and then go for the overall move. So that's USD Japan, guys. Moving on to USD CAD. This is actually one of my favorite pairs. I love USD CAD very much because of its nature, because it respects areas, it respects structure very well. So looking at the low, the high, again, guys, just points of reference. Don't take them religiously. This is just points of reference. You can see, okay, it bounced off this, it's moving up. Okay, when we go to the daily, we can see, oh, okay, we have a high over here, and we can just remove this now. Oh, we actually have a high over here. There's a high over here. And how's the market approaching this high? It's approaching this high very correctively. Okay, so now the most relevant bits of structure is this high, is this low, and this high, right? Let me go to the 4-hour. Now we want to identify our structures here, right? We can see, oh, okay, clean. We have a 1-2 touch, we have a 1-2 touch, and we have a 1-2 touch at the bottom. It's an ascending wedge, which means probably we're expecting the market to reach down to this low over here, potentially to this low over here, after our third touch up here, which we will enter accordingly and hold up until our accounts are blue screen. Yes, sir. Anyway, going back to the 1-hour chart, we can see that the market is forming some sort of clean structure over here. It's not yet clear as to what it could be, but it could potentially turn into something like this. It could potentially turn into something like that, something of a rising wedge type structure. And then we'd be expecting our overall structure to be a sell up until that point over there. So it could turn into something of this nature, of which we will enter accordingly. It could turn into something of this nature, you know, utilizing patterns within patterns, you know, a reversal pattern within a larger reversal pattern, you know. Then we'll be entering accordingly, and then our stop losses will be over here. Sorry, take profits over here, potentially with really tight stops. We'll enter accordingly, something like that, with a large take profit down there, right? So the large take profit, and we'll be scaling in, adding more positions as it's going down up until it gets down to that area down there, managing it accordingly, moving our stop losses and locking our profits. So yeah, guys, that's the first top three pairs episode in our segment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, so stay tuned for more, man. Make sure you hit that like, button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe. So yeah. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope you guys don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon, because I'm going to be posting top 3 pairs every Sunday, and on Friday I'm going to be having a review of how this position went with you guys. So take care, guys.